Alright guys, so this is top 4 here, and we have Lunar and Judy waiting on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, both of them are good players. I know Chris personally, he's really good.
Nice. Have you and Chris played often?
Yeah, we've been practicing together for this event.
Nice.
So,
who usually wins in the heads up?
Between him and I?
Yeah.
Actually him. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
So,
wow, I actually haven't seen him play yet because I've been busy, partaking in my own matches. But I'm curious to see what he's working with and, how his plays are.
He has this choice. I'm sorry. He has this. Am I not allowed to? Oh, I apologize. Okay. No team reveal. All right, match is starting.
Yeah.
You're not important.
All right.
We've got the Garchomp and Amoonguss lead.
Both shiny.
Versus the Rotom and the Kangaskhan. Seems like a pretty even matchup here.
Yeah,
you probably want to look out for the Will-O-Wisp on the Garchomp.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's Lumberry or not.
Maybe
I've seen a couple Lumberry
as well.
Yeah, there's going to be a fake out coming somewhere.
Yeah. Oh my God! Close the door.
I've been seeing a lot of double protect on the first turn just to counter that almost immediately.
Nice. Yeah. And also to see info on the second Pokemon's move that isn't a fake out.
Right. And then at that point, the Garchomp actually outspeeds the Kangaskhan, so that could be beneficial. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
And Kangaskhan going Mega.
Obviously.
The staple in most teams today.
Close the door. Close the door.
Close the door.
And we got the fake out. Wow. An Earthquake actually doing damage to his own Amoonguss, a lot of it. And a Reflect on the Rotom. That's actually pretty different from the standard Rotom you see.
Usually Protect, right?
Yeah, over Reflect.
Or Light Screen, if anything.
Yeah. I think Reflect's a good move just in that you see a lot more physical attackers in this metagame than you do special.
Definitely.
That's why Intimidate's such a great ability actually now. So.
And Will-O-Wisp is so predominant as well.
So it would probably be safe to assume that Rotom's not running Protect and it's actually running Reflect over the standard Thunderbolt, Hydro Pump, Will-O-Wisp, and then obviously the Reflect.
Yeah. That's a nice mix-up there, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Okay, we got a Rock Slide off for the Garchomp. Maybe looking for a little bit of hacks.
Yeah,
it doesn't go through.
But,
we got the return, and that Amoonguss is gone.
Yeah, it's going to finish off the Amoonguss. And Kangaskhan doesn't really like to match up with Garchomp because of the rough skin and possibly the rocky helmet. Well, what happened?
Hydro Mist strikes again.
Ooh.
Hydro Mist strikes again. I thought there would possibly be a Will-O-Wisp there. That's interesting to see. Again, we don't know if that Garchomp's running Lumberry or not. That's pretty prevalent.
Yeah, so maybe he's reading into the Lumberry or the Protect and just, didn't want to waste a turn.
Right.
Which makes sense.
I mean, it is a 2-hit KO. Hydro Pump would be
Garchomp?
Hydro Pump would be a 2-hit KO. Yes, it's a neutral damage, but
nice. Especially if it's specs on that Rotom.
If it's specs, it's about 75%, I believe. Okay, we got a Kangaskhan switch out to his own Garchomp, I believe. Yep. And are we going to see the fake out? Oh, it's actually not a fake out.
We're going to see another Rock Slide.
That's interesting. And the return on the Garchomp.
Ooh.
Perhaps it's running Rocky Helmet. See the rough skin.
Rocky Helmet, rough skin.
No, it isn't.
Devastating.
It isn't.
But it is not running the Rocky Helmet here.
And actually, I think in this situation, TheGr8 is doing all right.
And another avoid on that Hydro Pump.
They call it Hydro Mist for a reason.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Is it, 80%?
Yeah, it is.
And they still call it Hydro Mist. Wow.
It misses whenever you need it to. That's the problem.
I see. And it wouldn't be worth the transition to surf, would it?
I don't think it can learn surf, actually. I believe it can only learn its hydro pump. That's its water move.
I'm surprised we aren't seeing any Dragon Claws here, actually.
There might be one. I'm thinking that they're hoping for the flinch.
Yeah.
That rock slide definitely was looking for the flinch.
Ooh,
wow.
And the
crit. The hacks is real. Oh, and we see that the
life orb.
The life orb on Ben's Garchomp, and you can see how strong it is.
Interesting from the usual banded Garchomp because it gives them
3 misses in a row. God. 3 misses in a row. Wow.
That is unfortunate.
Wow.
It seems like here at
this is it's starting to look a little one-sided here, or a little unlucky. I guess that's the proper word to describe it.
Yeah. Because the plays are fine. It's just that miss and risk reward
that's 3 in a row. This is pretty bad. Like this is very unlucky on his part, and there's kind of nothing you can do about it. Is that the fraction? 80% my ass. That's funny.
So that's really making things rough here for
it's pretty difficult to do anything when you miss 3 times in a row.
It's like just carrying dead.
We got a protected power punch that actually came at the right time. That should be a 2+2 buff right there with the KO.
Wow.
Did it survive?
Without the KO. It survived.
Wow, okay. Oh, and the Hydro Pump finally hits. It finally hits. It took 4 times, but it got it. Wow. Survives just barely by the skin of its teeth.
That's
really
Pokemon
close.
Stadium.
Yeah. You like that?
Yeah, that exaggerated everything.
Okay, the Garchomp outspeeds and gets the Rock Slide. That should be a double K. No, it's not. Okay.
Wow.
It KOs the Rotom.
And we might be seeing a possible flinch, but no, we don't.
No, and then the King. Oh no, the Garchomp KOs the other side, but that Garchomp on the opposing side is life orbed, so they're all gonna faint. It's all gonna faint. And there goes. Oh wow!
Someone with a sliver.
Wow. Okay.
We're seeing some really weird magic pixels here. Yeah, it is.
We can't even see the number.
We're assuming it's life orb.
Khan is pretty strong right now. Favorable matchup for Ben7000 here.
Yeah.
Well, you can expect the protect on the Rotom Heat. And
the fake out.
It just looks like a good game here because the Rotom Heat is outsped by both of Ben7000's Pokemon at this point. So he's going to get a double hit before Rotom can even get the opportunity to attack. Not to mention that Ben still has 1 Pokemon in the backfield.
Yeah.
It's starting to look like a good game.
Unless he can get some swagger.
We get a protect on the Garchomp. Playing it safe here, I see. And the return on the King
is going to close. Well,
no, it won't. It'll activate the Citrus Berry.
Nice, good call.
And leave it at about half, probably. And there it is. And the Will-O-Wisp hits the Kangaskhan. That'll give it a little more survivability.
Yeah.
Looks like it might be up to the Garchomp here to just finish this off with a little bit of chip damage from the Kangaskhan.
Do you think this is surmountable by the Rotom, the Soul Rotom?
In my personal opinion, I don't. Just he has another Pokemon in the backfield. It's going to be pretty hard. It's a very uphill battle. And we get the super effective Rock Slide. And that's a good game.
That's a good match. Ben taking game 1. Let's see what adjustments TheGr8 can make. Nice play from both players. That Hydro Pump was
Hydro Pump
really
was very
big factor in this.
He actually missed that many times and still managed to pull the W. So.
Not sure if you guys can hear the Spanish music in the background, but we are at a dance studio, so enjoy. No, but I see the levels.
Yeah, it adds to the ambiance of the Pokemon battle.
Yeah.
Okay, we see. We're looking at Ben7000's team. We see the Kangaskhan, which he used last battle to very good effect. The Ferrothorn, he actually played against me and beat me with it pretty bad.
Really?
I probably won't reveal what it has. Maybe he'll bring it to the battle and we'll see.
Yeah.
But
I'm curious to see what the Ferrothorn
it's an actual different. It's a little bit different than the normal set that you would see.
Okay.
We see the Garchomp there that he used for very good effect. Mr. Hydro missed right there. That Rotom, that Rotom wash that missed four times in a row. 3 times. I'm sorry.
It's closed.
Gardevoir is always good.
Do we actually know who Ben had as a 4th in that match? I don't know
if he revealed it. He didn't reveal it, so it was only the 3.
So we're curious to see if he's going to utilize Talonflame or Gardevoir.
You can't go wrong with the Talonflame. That priority pressure is always great to have. Yeah. It's always good. You just to keep the pressure.
It's a glass cannon, but I really enjoyed the way you use it as anchor to really solidify the victory once you got everybody down to low HP.
Right.
Because I noticed a lot of people start off with Talonflame, and he'll either get a Quick Guard or he'll get a Brave Bird, and then he's done. But you bringing him in late game actually adds a separate element to Talonflame that I feel not many players use it.
I feel like Talonflame can be it's extremely versatile with its ability. It's just you can use it whenever you really want. Its job is to punch holes no matter what. Mine personally was choice banded, and I mean you were able to see that I got that Oko pretty easily on that on these Salamence.
Oh yeah.
And
that was nice. Usually people run Life Orb on Talonflame
because they enjoy the protect. When I use my Talonflame, I just wanted to punch holes.
With that Brave Bird, just straight
punch
no
holes.
Utility, no.
No, it's a simple set. I use a pretty standard set with the Brave Bird, Flare Blitz, U-turn. Well, let's talk about the match here. We got Talonflame and Garchomp, which is a good lead, and we have Gardevoir and Kangaskhan. And I would say that the Great here it is the Great. The Great has probably a slight positional advantage here. We got a withdraw from the Talonflame into that Ferrothorn I was telling you guys about.
I like that switch.
And probably a Protect from the Garchomp?
Probably. That's what I would guess. Well, actually, I don't think Kango would swing into the Garchomp because of the rough skin, so... But we are.
I feel like, he does have the Gardevoir that has the potential to Moonblast, and that would one-hit KO. That was actually a great switch because he fake-outs the Ferrothorn, and the Ferrothorn resists the fake-out as well as does some nice chip damage on the Kangaskhan itself. So they're going to actually damage each other.
Actually, the Iron Barbs and the rough skin are both, actually...
They both do. I believe it's 1/16.
Okay. Hey, damage is damage, especially against Kangaskhan, who is such a powerhouse. You really want to wear him down any way you can.
So I'd say it's probably a double-edged sword here. The Ferrothorn can KO the Gardevoir, but the Gardevoir can KO the Garchomp. And the Garchomp can try to protect, but it's not very likely that he will. He'll get it off. So you can probably expect to see a switch on the Garchomp.
Now, who is faster between Garchomp and Gardevoir?
It depends. Gardevoir has base 80 speed, but I see a lot of them run Choice Scarf nowadays.
I see, yeah. So it could go either way. Because I was thinking,
we haven't seen
Gardevoir doesn't have
we see the
much
switch.
Physical defense. So
right, it's actually very frail. We actually don't get the opportunity to see. And then we do have the Garchomp switch.
And we see them both switch out.
Yeah,
so,
that was actually a very well predicted switch. And wow, out to the Talonflame. I mean, Rotom Heat definitely does damage to both. Wow, return just gets rid of that Talonflame.
maybe predicting that he was going to switch out due to the pressure that Gardevoir was exerting.
And there's the substitute. That was the move I was telling you about that took me by surprise myself.
Nice.
It's unexpected. I mean, he can do a lot here. He has his dual stabs, gyro ball, power whip. He might have leech seed or protect.
Yeah, that leech seed.
Leech seed would be a very good here, just because he's behind a substitute. He'd be safe, you know.
But that Rotom, he is on the field, so he can neutralize the substitute in one move, and then it's back to neutral.
Right. If Kangaskhan can manage to break the substitute, Rotom, he can definitely come from behind and KO the Ferrothorn. Yeah. But Ben7000 did just bring in a Kangaskhan, so you have to worry about that fake out that's gonna come right now. So only one of his Pokemon should be able to attack. Most Kangaskhan's don't have Protect, so it's always a very good option to just go and attack the Kangaskhan itself.
Yeah.
And that's what we see here. The Kangaskhan does not get the opportunity to attack. Let's see what his Rotom can do. Oh, the Will-O-Wisp, very good.
Will-O-Wisp, a safe bet.
So now his Kangaskhan's at a -2 right now. He can Power Up Punch and bring it back to neutral. So that's an option.
I just have a quick question. When you get burned, does it actually count as a stat decrease?
What it does is it decreases your attack by 50%, as well as you get the residual damage.
Okay, so someone could get possibly -6 and burn.
Yes.
Okay. Because it's a big difference.
Oh, the Gyro Ball actually KOs the Kangaskhan here. That was actually a very good play.
Yeah, Gyro Ball one-hit KOing. Oh, taking the rest of Kangaskhan's health. I wouldn't actually expect that.
I would on a Gyro Ball, just the speed difference, and it's stab boosted as well. I believe Ferrothorn is a base 20. It's very low.
Base speed, right?
Speed. I believe it's very low. Base 100. So that Gyro Ball should do a substantial amount of damage.
So it does the max 200 base?
I believe it's 150 the max, plus stab.
Wow, I wasn't aware the max was 150.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty powerful. That's really strong.
It definitely does. It definitely does a lot of damage depending on the speed of your opposing Pokemon, the Pokemon you're attacking.
The difference of the two, right?
Right.
It's
Okay, we see the Protect on the Ferrothorn. So perhaps it's not running Leech Seed at all. It's probably running dual stabs, Substitute, and Protect.
That sounds like a solid set.
We see the Earthquake come off, and that's not going to do much to the Ferrothorn. Probably neutral damage.
And the Kangaskhan going
returns.
To the return.
Oh, with the crit, but I don't think that'll activate the Citrus Berry.
That's a really bulky Rotom, actually. Oh, it's burned. I didn't see the burn.
Yeah. And that knocks the Kangaskhan down to about half. I guess the TheGr8 has to make a decision here whether or not to focus on the Ferrothorn or the Kangaskhan. The Kangaskhan shouldn't be too much of a threat, considering the fact that it's burned right now. But Ferrothorn is countered by the Rotom Heat, so I guess it's you got to win this out in this position.
Yeah.
We know by now that Ferrothorn does not have. I mean, it could have Power Whip, or it can have Leech Seed.
Oh, and I wasn't expecting
the
withdrawal because the sub was set up and everything. You know, so
perhaps Ben saw that the next Earthquake will break the substitute, and then Rotom Heat could come with an Overheat and KO the Ferrothorn. So that was actually a very good switch.
Smart play.
Okay, we see this return on the Garchomp, but the Rough Skin will actually KO it. So I feel like that's probably why Rough Skin is so prevalent. You don't see too much. Oh wow, a well-predicted Will-O-Wisp. Very well predicted.
Nice.
Expecting the switch, and Will-O-Wisping. And that Garchomp's almost completely useless at this time. I mean, it'll take hits, but it's not going to dish out too much damage here. Ferrothorn comes out, no sub.
And no Trick Room.
It doesn't. It definitely doesn't look good for Ben7000 in this position. An Overheat will definitely one-hit KO that Ferrothorn. Okay, we got the Dragon Claw on the Garchomp, and that should take it out no problem.
It's going to be enough to take it out.
And we saw no Protect from the Ferrothorn, so the Overheat will probably hit the Ferrothorn, and that would be a good game.
Probably hoping that the TheGr8 would predict the Protect and maybe go for something else, but doesn't really matter. Can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, that was a great game.
That was a really good match for both players. We're looking at a 1-1. And we're going into Game 3 of this semifinals set.
We saw Ben7000 win the first run with the 2-0, and TheGr8 coming back, retaliating very well with a 3-0.
Very well.
Oh no, I believe Ben7000 actually did have the 3-0 because we didn't see his last Pokemon.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Seems very even now. It's very well matched. So
I'm curious to see who's going to take this last game. Both players adapting very well.
Very evenly matched. TheGr8 was very good at countering what he saw from the first match.
Especially that Ferrothorn, just like figuring out what to do.
I feel like with Ferrothorn, it's a pretty much a hit or miss. It's either going to do amazing in the game or it's going to die instantly. It depends if you have the right counters for him.
Great reads. The great reads. Freaking Smash Bros.
And so at this point, we have players thinking about their team combinations. We might be seeing that Gardevoir from. Wait, did we see a Gardevoir already? Yeah.
From
right?
Ben7000, yeah, we did. Oh no, we didn't. I believe we saw it from TheGr8 actually.
TheGr8, yeah.
They have very similar teams.
Okay.
They both have similar teams.
They have similar teams.
Yeah.
That's why I keep getting
Yeah.
Everybody has similar teams now in this tournament. I've been seeing a lot of staple like Roland Washers.
My team when I went against Solcer, it was almost a carbon copy with the exception of 2 Pokemon. I had Klefki, he had Meowstic, which they essentially do the same thing.
Yeah.
Except mine has Foul Play, his has Charm. It was the same set with the exception of those 2 moves.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's so interesting to see that players using all the same high metagame Pokemon don't get really countered by much else. Even though people know the metagame, they know the common Pokemon people are using, you would think that they can assemble teams solely around the metagame and do well. But these standard sets are actually
I think it's kind of hard in this metagame and VGC 14. I feel like when I do team building, I almost find myself being a little restricted on what I can and can't use because
due to its viability.
Well, because they only allow Kalos region Pokemon. I believe something like a Togekiss would be amazing in this game.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
With Follow Me,
honestly,
and
it would be.
A couple of
But we're not allowed to use those. Certain things like that.
I was actually considering Togekiss on my original team.
Even Blaziken could have. I don't know how big of an impact Blaziken would have made, but it's an option. It's definitely a lot of Pokemon that you would think that could counter this current metagame aren't allowed. So
these dominate due to their
I would
absence.
agree. I read an article last week on Nugget Bridge actually discussing Pyroar, which is an interesting Pokemon.
Really?
Its hidden power ice actually OHKOs. It's faster than Garchomp, and its hidden power ice actually OHKOs Garchomp. So that's an interesting thing to see.
I would have never even thought of
that. That was from the Japanese metagame. So it's always good to look at other countries, see how they're playing, and get some ideas from there.
And already off the bat, we saw a Psychic on the Rotom Wash and a return on the Rotom Wash.
Got a double attack on the Rotom.
Yeah.
Oh, and neither Kangaskhan actually goes for Protect?
No fake outs.
Fake out, I'm sorry.
That's a interesting turn of events here. Both players just going
that return does a lot of damage.
Ben's sending out, hey.
His Garchomp. I actually didn't notice. Did the Gardevoir go first last turn?
Gardevoir did go first.
So it's actually Scarfed. So we see the Choice Scarf on the Gardevoir, but that means it would be locked into Psychic. So that's interesting. We'll probably see a switch on that Gardevoir. Just so he can have the opportunity to utilize the Moonblast.
Or the Dazzling Gleam.
The thing with Dazzling Gleam is you get your spread damage, but we don't it's probably not going to OHKO with our
75%, right? Due to it being spread.
I believe so. It's a weakened amount. So for me in a metagame with Garchomp being so prevalent, I would probably like to take it out as soon as possible. You just don't want something with a base 102 speed.
Yeah,
base 130 attack, just running around.
And we are going to see
he actually does it.
Staying in.
And doing the Psychic. Oh, and it survives. and the Dragon Claw KOs the Kangaskhan, and we're probably going to see a return from the Kangaskhan, which should KO this Gardevoir. Okay, the Garchomp goes down to Life Orb damage here, but this Kangaskhan here, I almost... Oh, Power Punch, wow. Power Punch not return. That is interesting. That Power Punch is going to do no damage, but the Kangaskhan will become +2.
It's going to be at +2, so now he might be able to capitalize on some Sucker Punch pressure.
That would probably be a good idea there.
For, you know, mid-game now.
We see the Ferrothorn, which also has that super effective Steel type against Gardevoir. Against, the Rotom Heat. The Rotom Heat of Doom from last turn.
Alright, this familiar matchup here, but I think the Power Punch was a good investment in this case. Knowing that the Rotom Heat
it might be just because the Rotom Heat will probably be KO'd by the +2 Power Punch. So Ben7000 is in a good position.
Quite an investment last turn.
I don't know if he necessarily predicted it that way, just by his facial expression from here, but it definitely worked out in his favor. So Ben7000 showing the viability of Ferrothorn in this.
It's always nice to see uncommon, or not uncommon, but
Ferrothorn's definitely not uncommon. It's just not. Yes, I would agree with that.
In the high metagame.
It's getting good. It's getting good.
And the Rotom Heat protects. Gardevoir locked into Psychic. Actually, Psychic's the Kangaskhan at full health.
At that Kangaskhan.
Shouldn't do too much.
And the return.
Predicted the Rotom Heat. And we'll probably see a substitute. Yep, substitute on the Ferrothorn. So he's in great position here. He can take an Overheat, get that stat drop on that Rotom Heat, and he still has that +2 Kangaskhan.
That was a very nice prediction, because I would have thought that Ben would have returned the Rotom due to it being the greater threat on the field. But that's where the mind game came in, and that's
setting up that substitute is really going to help him.
Yeah,
it just makes Ferrothorn all that more durable.
Basically, Ben went all in on his read, and it paid off, because sometimes when you make a read, you might want to cover your second Pokemon because you aren't sure, but it's those reads that you're like, well, I'm all or nothing, that really pay off if you
Now, that Garchomp's on the field, but Ferrothorn resists. I don't believe it resists the Earthquake, but it resists the other two stabs on it that we saw, the Dragon Claw and the Rock Slide. It's a standard Garchomp build, so it's looking pretty favorable for Ben hiding behind that nice substitute.
And if we see a Power Whip from the Ferrothorn, that's going to be neutral damage to Garchomp, right?
Yes, it will. But then again, he does have that Rotom Heat. If Ben7000 can find, or I'm sorry, if the Great can find a way to manage to keep that Rotom Heat on the field,
maybe some flinch hacks.
Maybe a little luck.
And he doesn't get the flinch hack, so that's going to take out that
should
Rotom.
Easily take out. That should take out the Rotom.
Unless the Citrus covers it.
I believe the second hit should still be strong enough. He's +2, and it does. And this should be a good game here. We see the Power Whip covering off, and that should do about half, perhaps.
Oh, that animation is so cool.
Yep,
I love
about half. So, the rough skin actually still hurts. So. Collects the little leftovers. I'm sorry. And it's looking like a good game. Ben7000 is gonna be going forward.
And yeah, with the Sucker Punch pressure, there's not much Garchomp can do at this point.
And there goes the Garchomp.
Good game from both. I'm loving the series of plays here.
I don't know who you guys are rooting for between Lunar and Sulcer, but my money's definitely on Lunar just because he's my training partner. So hopefully he'll do pretty well here. I'd like to see him win. I'd like to see Sulcer lose because he beat me. I'm a
and Sulcer's actually the reigning champ from last time.
He is.
So let's see if your boy Lunar can take him out. That would be really cool to see.
I agree. Ferrothorn definitely doing work. You don't see it coming out with substitute. That's a pretty big surprise. Yeah. Really usually you just see a little leech seed here and there, and it's annoying, but it's definitely not as annoying as having to take down a substitute.
Exactly. So on top of not having the right stuff to cover it,
we got some man hugs going on.
We're gonna have some. So Ben and TheGr8 showing some some good sportsmanship. Hugging it out.
Come on, do it.
Gotta love it when people take their wins and their losses in stride. It's always nice to see people having fun, win or lose.
Nothing like a little man hug while you play play Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure. So next up on stream, guys, we're gonna have Lunar versus Soulser, and we're gonna have some nice